Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jackass, and with me, as always, is Mr. Ryan. How are you, Ryan?
I'm swell, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. In my little temptress, my little jasmine flower.
Hello.
Megan.
Are you trying to do the
She's
voice
feeling
from...
back. Weird, wild stuff.
Are you trying to do the voice from the guy from Parks and Rec?
Oh, that's thoughts for
on
your
your
thoughts. Well, they are lesbians. No, I'm not doing that.
That's
guy.
what it sounded like. Thoughts for your thoughts.
Still, I've never seen an episode of that show.
It's a funny one. If you can get past season one.
Yeah, season one. Well, I mean,
kinda
it's
boring.
Ryan, so.
But when Rob Lowe shows up, that show takes off.
Yeah, that's true.
It becomes one of the best shows I've ever seen after that.
Nice.
Which, the same for The Office, honestly. For me, 1 and 2 were really, really heavy on the awkward.
Seasons or episodes?
Seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, it doesn't ever stop being awkward. You just get used to it.
It's very awkward season 1. Season 2, they lighten it up, and there's the back and forth with Pam and Jim, which I love. But season 3 is like primo Dwight. That's when Dwight really comes into his own.
Yes,
in my opinion.
I've only ever seen like a few snippets of The Office.
Yeah.
The only one that I've ever seen that I was like, this is actually funny, was when the one guy replaces him with the Asian guy.
You're talking about like the literal last season of that show.
Oh,
Jim gets replaced with Asian Jim.
Yeah, with
Asian Jim.
And I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny, but the pranks that he pulls on Dwight are that's a really good one, but he does a lot of really, really good ones.
Yeah.
One of them's like he every day he puts a nickel in Dwight's phone so that he gets used to the weight, and every day he's picking up, and the last day he takes them all out, so he picks up the phone and smacks himself in the face with it.
Yeah.
He takes everything out of his desk and puts it in the vending machine and makes him buy it all back with nickels.
My favorite is actually Dwight's to Jim, where he steals his credit card information and buys flowers for Pam from Jim.
Yes. So
and Jim's like,
the one on that one
flowers
is
on my credit card for my wife from me.
So the gag is the boss tells them, if either one of you fucks with each other during the Christmas party, I'm taking away your bonus. It's done. Yeah. And so Jim purposefully leaves his credit card shit out there thinking that Dwight's going to fuck with him.
Right.
Dwight takes the bait, only Dwight buys like $300 worth of flowers for Pam.
For Jim's wife from Jim.
So he can't come out and be like, I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
But like the scene shows Jim talking about what he did, and obviously he's not upset about it. He was like, he bought flowers for my wife from me. And then it cuts to Dwight, who's just fucking laughing his ass off. Yeah. He thinks that he got him so good.
Yeah.
And he did the opposite.
Yeah. There's a good one where Jim puts an application in for him for another company.
Oh, yeah.
And the company calls to interview him over the phone. And he's like, what does it say next to martial arts skills? He's like,
I'm going to have to revise
it's not there.
That.
He goes, okay, I'm going to have to revise that. He goes, what do you mean you don't know why it's relevant?
Or when he thinks
how about
FBI,
you're an idiot?
He thinks the FBI is
all right. The CIA is recruiting him.
The CIA is recruiting him.
And he's told to... Jim is the one with the burner phone texting him, and he says he was supposed to meet on the roof of the building for an ice cream social with the other agents because the helicopter was going to pick him up. And he's up there in his orange hat and his trench coat and his go bag.
He gets a text.
And Jim's like, yeah, abort mission. You've been compromised. Abort mission. Destroy phone. So he turns and just chucks his phone off the roof.
Dwight is so like vulnerable and gullible.
He's my guy.
So it's just anyway.
See, it sounds great. I can't, man. Steve Carell, I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
He gets.
I love Steve Carell in that. There are some that he's great, but the first season is rough.
I feel like the first episode or two is real difficult to kind of pull through, but then it's fine. I don't know.
I think the only thing he was decent for me was what is it? Despicable Me.
You like Anchorman too, don't you?
Yeah, but he's not in it that much.
Yeah. No, but you know who is really funny to me?
Who's that?
Ford Supply Company
Figured.
offers a curated line of craft soaps and beard care handmade in the USA, offering scents like coffee and cream, babe, coconut, citrus, cedarwood, and many more. Check out the full line of craft soap bars, beard oil, and beard balm online at FordSupply.com. Free U.S. shipping on all orders over $35 and get an additional 10% off with the promo code Alter Ego. Ford Soap, real soap.
No bullshit.
None.
I didn't set you up well for that.
No. And you got me
I
with that
definitely-
segue.
It was just silent. We were like, what's happening? Is he having a
Ford
stroke?
Soap, yeah, we know.
And that segue, I normally see it coming. I didn't. You actually have it.
You
I'm
didn't.
Like, who does he really think is funny?
Oh. The king of the segues, baby. Out, damn
I
spot.
knew it was really funny. I was like, here we go.
Yep,
He's diving in.
I was diving in. But
You know what
yeah,
else
no.
I'd like to dive into? Tony and Nello's.
Go ahead. You've got more of an ad than I do. By the way, Nella's still not gotten me a new ad, even though he was here last week. Hey, let's give it up for Nello.
We were also
Thank
there
you for
at
being
his
here, buddy.
wonderful restaurant on Friday, celebrating a wonderful member of the family who graduated.
Yes.
So we were at the Tony and the Nello's on Friday.
Oh my God.
It is a Southern Italian cuisine and grill.
Here's something that I want to explain to
located
you
in
about
Tierra Verde. Before I forget all the things.
Tony and Nellis. Go ahead. I love your shirt, by the way.
Located in Tierra Verde, Florida.
Rengoku,
on the
right? Is that what
outskirts
that
of
is?
St. Petersburg, Florida. Their food
so.
is fantastic. It's delicious, huge portions. My mouth's watering just thinking about it.
Wow.
Jack has the actual details in regards to their address and their phone number, because all I know is that it's 727-867 something 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 something. And
Wow.
you should go
It's
there.
like they're right there.
Mention Alter Ego and get how much percent off? 10% off your food order.
I'm still
Ryan
working
here
on
was
the,
working on 50.
AJ Brown and you
Jesus.
get 50% off. I'm still working on that for you guys.
I actually have leftovers, and we don't have dinner plans tonight. So,
Oh, there we
eat all my
go.
leftovers.
There we go. I did not eat all your leftovers.
It's either that or chef.
It
and
was
I'm certainly
tempting.
not having chef.
It was
over Tony
tempting,
and
but I
Nellis.
didn't.
You know what's funny is I know he's a Hashira, but I don't know his name.
I think it's Rengoku.
Never learned it.
By the way, they're at 1136 Pinellas Bay Way, South Tierra Verde, Florida.
727-867.
And the something, something, something that Megan mentioned is 867-3577.
727
Barf.
is the area code.
Oh, man. Rengoku, the fire...
Hashira.
Hashira, yeah.
From
That's such a
Demon
good
Slayer.
movie. I have it because somebody near and dear and close to my heart bought it for me for Father's Day. And I actually
the
just...
Easter Bunny showed up with it because Father's Day hasn't happened
Oh,
yet.
wait, that's right. Whoa, I'm sorry.
It was Easter.
I'm bad with holidays and dates in general. I watched all of Demon Slayer again just to watch the movie.
And then he hasn't watched the movie yet.
No, but the finale's still fire. The finale's
That's true.
still amazing.
Yeah.
And that movie is the best anime movie I've ever seen.
Truth. But we won't be able to
pretty
watch
solid.
tonight because we've got sports
Next to Tree
stuff.
of Might. Yeah. Ooh. Well, we don't want to talk
Lightning?
about sports
No,
stuff,
we're
but
not
we've
talking about
got
sports stuff. We don't have to put it on. I'll put it on my phone.
Oh, we'll put it on. We've got the Pittsburgh Penguins playing tonight against the Rangers. Anyway, that's not important.
Nope.
What
sports
is
stuff.
important is stuff from the show.
Yes. Actually, some pretty cool stuff from the show from what I've been seeing.
Yeah. From what you've been peeking over here for?
No, I follow our Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like
By
to-
the way, hey, okay,
And
no,
Facebook.
we'll get into it. Okay, Jackass TV show in the works. You know what's crazy to me is there are probably a lot of kids out there that are working jobs and stuff like that have no idea this started as a TV show.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, there's no way.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
On
That was
MTV?
the beginning of every single show, and then Johnny would get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'd get
And then they
wrecked.
would go into all these skits throughout the day. And then it was like, wow, they're going to make a movie. And then the TV show just stopped.
Yeah.
And now they want to bring the show back. Why do you think that is? Why can't Johnny Knoxville let go of doing stunts and getting hurt?
I thought Johnny Knoxville said he was done after the last one.
I mean, dude's like 50 and maybe
Yeah.
even older.
He's at the point where he
and
is risking
his ass
serious injury.
should not be taking the hits
Hey, I'm
that
not
he's
gonna
taking.
lie though. If I'm 50-something years old and MTV comes with a check with several commas in it, you know what? Go get the shopping carts.
I got to tell you, it doesn't
the
matter.
shopping
Get the
It does
alligator.
not matter the subject matter or what we're talking about. Ryan always says if that check has a couple commas in it,
I mean,
he will do it.
Yep.
I mean,
That money's
it
right, I'm in
doesn't-
there.
Jackass, when we talk sports, any sport, when we talk about fighting somebody who's clearly going to give you brain damage, he's like, hey, man,
He's
a couple
got at
commas will
least
buy
two
me a lot
commas
of
and I'm
crayons.
good.
I mean, a couple of commas will buy a lot of things.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I don't need much. I'm a simple guy.
that's right.
Just a check with a couple commas.
A couple comments, I'm good for life.
That's right. We got
Yeah.
to get Ryan a T-shirt. Couple commas and I'm good.
We should.
That actually is a good marketing thing
Yeah.
for you.
I dig
What
it.
about it?
That's what we're gonna have to get working for Ryan. Couple commas and let's go.
And
Yeah.
then get another one that says, I'm not watching that.
I'm not watching that. That's
Alternate
right.
line of
Even if
shirts.
you got a check with a couple commas.
Oh, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
alter
watch
ego's
the
not
Batman
stroking a
on
chick.
loop for a couple comments.
He'll watch Justice League remade.
Over
On
and over.
Snyder
again.
cut over.
Snyder
and over.
cut.
I will learn it word for word.
Back to back to back.
He'll be able to be any of the characters.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Stand in for any of them.
Sheesh.
And I'd
He's
watch
working.
that too. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Hey, Jack, what'd you do today? I watched Snyder Cut again for the 8 millionth time. How much did they
Technically-
pay you for that? Enough.
Yep.
Twice
Couple
in
comes.
a day. You worked 8 hours. I worked Snyder. I watched Snyder Cut 1.5 times.
Yeah, and I noticed that.
Kind of
yeah,
It's about the same as
if you if you watch Cyborg walking up during his mantra scene, you can tell he definitely farts on camera. I've watched it enough to see that leg lift a million times. Oh gosh, that would be the worst. Actually, I would not want to do that, but I would. I would.
Oh, I would too.
Because after that 8-hour day, which is only, well, let's think about it. What's that? 2.5 watches of the Snyder Cut?
Not even.
No.
Maybe two.
Like 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it's
That's
like
that was the
5
joke
and a
I
half
made
hours
2
long.
minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like a 4-hour movie.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, yeah, Paramount Plus picking up Jackass, the TV show. I wonder who of the original cast, or if they're going to bring in new people to do it.
no. I
I don't
mean,
know. These kids might be too woke for that
Think-
stuff nowadays.
Oh, you think so? Really? You think that kids are too woke to watch somebody get their balls hit by a fastball?
Hey, why does that ball have to be white?
Or in
Yeah.
today's age,
And why
they
does it
could
have to
have
be
their
balls?
Yeah, I was about to say they could have their vaginas hit.
Yeah.
wow.
What? What's wow?
I
You
just-
made the point.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
maybe I'm
when you're
non-binary,
thinking, when
bro.
you're talking about Jackass and somebody getting hit in the balls, and then you say they could be getting hit in the vagina, it's like in your brain you're already remembering that one scene where somebody got hit in the balls with something
Yeah.
in Jackass, and then you said that, and the immediate picture switches, and you're like, wow, that's
Oh, so now it's not good.
well,
Equal rights.
it's not as funny.
I'm not going to lie.
It's not as funny.
Because I'm like, ooh,
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's not as funny.
yeah,
I was
that's,
going to say,
That
I'd
shit
like to
still
see
hurts,
a
boys.
Jackass with all women. That'd
Me
be
too.
hilarious.
yeah, it actually would be hilarious, and I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it yet.
See how
Personal
far they're
opinion.
willing to go.
There's got to be women out there that are like,
Anytime
please do let me be a part of this.
This kind of argument comes up. It reminds me of that recent episode of South Park where Cartman wants to know how girls scratch their balls.
Oh god.
Do girls not have balls? Girls do not have balls, no. So, when a girl goes to scratch her balls. Anyway, too much.
Go watch it.
So, apparently, the Chinese market is very interested in Top Gun Maverick. Have we seen the story regarding this?
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I
Why?
haven't seen the movie. You think
You
it has
haven't seen,
anything-
you've seen the original Top Gun.
Yeah, but not the new one with what's the
So apparently the jet that they made for the movie
Oh,
was
yeah.
so realistic
Yeah.
that
Of course
according
China
to one of
wants
the
to know.
producers, China sent a spy satellite over just to take a look at this plane.
No shit.
Wow.
Don't even get me started.
We won't.
Wow.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious until they take over the world.
Okay, we're gonna move on from that one. We hit a hot button there. Star Wars, we got our first Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, which is great. We've been seeing a lot of news about that. When does it come out?
Oh, yes.
May
Star
8th?
Wars.
Oh, I don't know.
They missed
it's
a huge
Didn't
opportunity.
What's the huge opportunity
Oh,
they
you
missed?
got that on there. Never mind.
Isn't the whole May the 4th be with you, like, the Star Wars nerd like holiday?
Yeah, and then
Like,
there's
come on,
Revenge of
guys.
the 5th, which is, if you're celebrating anything, that should be it, I think.
Oh, well.
I mean, do you disagree?
I don't know.
Sith or Jedi?
I'm
This
not-
is a question we've never actually gone over.
I don't even know it's Sith and Jedi. All of them are. I just know that there's a big
All of
blob
them.
guy named
All of
Jabba the
them.
Hutt who's like a pimp who's got bitches tied up.
He's like a pimp. He's got bitches.
All
tied
I
up.
know is that slug-ass pimp has got Layla in a bikini tied to him
What is
while
it?
he's eating lizards all day.
I know Lando or whatever it is. He's a smooth motherfucker too.
He is smooth.
Lando has his moments.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, I know that Luke has a father.
I'd love to hear
I know
more.
that Luke has a father.
And there's a tall, like, Wookiee guy who...
Chewbacca?
Yeah. And then R2-D2. That's
Okay.
Star Wars, everybody.
So, okay, let me just paint a picture for you. You got Luke Skywalker.
Who
All
has
right.
a
You
dad?
know who that is. You got Yoda.
I know that guy, too.
You got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Me with a lightsaber.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Got Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
I'm pretty sure
Only
that's
one with the purple
Sammy
motherfucker.
Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Sam Jackson.
He's the only one with a purple lightsaber.
Liam Neeson. He was Qui-Gon Jinn. Those are the
Who?
peaceful dudes.
Liam
I'm
Neeson
pretty
is an
sure,
actual.
no.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Those are
sure he's the
peaceful
guy
dudes.
who was taken.
In Star Wars,
Yeah.
he was not,
But
though.
he was also Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Gone but not forgotten. And
sure?
then
Yes.
we've
That was
Who
got...
has a particular set of skills.
Then we got Darth... Yeah, one of them was getting stabbed in the stomach by Darth Maul.
You're
You know who
ruining
Darth
it.
Maul is?
He's the red and black guy.
How am I
With the-
ruining it?
He had
The
the double...
Phantom Menace came out when?
He had the double-sided
Yeah.
lightsaber,
Darth Maul's
right?
that guy.
Yeah.
Darth
I
Maul?
remember that guy.
You got the Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
who's a bad motherfucker.
See, I always
You
thought
got the
Emperor and
baddest, Darth Vader.
Darth Vader were the same person.
How about
Guess not.
that guy?
He's not a Sith.
I don't care.
That's
We're not
Boba Fett.
we
I know
only talk
Boba
about
Fett because
Sith?
I watched
I was
that.
just about to make him make the choice. So between the Group A and Group B, you got Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, who's the Emperor. You've got Darth Vader, and you got Count Dooku, who I forget what his name was. I think it's anyway. Doesn't matter. But those guys versus the Luke, the Yoda,
The Mace Windu.
Plo Koon.
See, now, why can't they make Star Wars easier and everybody's like either red or blue? Like Crips versus Bloods, you know?
I mean, it
Just
kind
make
of
it-
is.
Kinda are.
It kind of is red versus
Except for my
green.
man with this badass purple lightsaber
Yeah,
here.
Mace
So
Windu.
okay, let's get this. Little column A, little column B. Where's Ryan landing?
Do you want to be an evil guy or do you want to be a badass motherfucking good
Actually,
guy?
it's not even evil. It's kind of just selfish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the Boba Fett, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Settle that.
so you're
he-
going option C.
He wants to be. He wants to be Switzerland.
I got to be honest. With you. I completely agree. If somebody walked up to me with that Mandalorian helmet and said, "Hey, you want to hunt bad people or good people, whatever, for a living?" I'd be like, "Yes."
Do you want to get paid to kill this person
You wanna
or bring them in alive?
I'd be like, "Does it matter?" Sure.
Yeah.
Can I bring him in a little slushy bag?
Yeah.
I got a bunch of face melters back in the ship. You just say what you want me to do.
Yep.
So you say no Jedi or Sith. If you had to pick one, where are you
You'd be
going?
bounty hunter.
Off the top of your head right now, Jedi or Sith?
I guess the Jedi, because they
Wow.
got the powers, right?
They both do.
They both do.
Oh, see, I don't know.
They both
that.
got the powers.
Yeah, they both got the powers.
Where are you going?
Oh,
Jedi or Sith?
Probably Jedi.
Oh man, am
know
I the
you're
only
Sith.
Sith in the room?
I don't
Honestly,
know. They're
I
just,
might go Sith. They get double-sided lightsabers, so
They all do. They all can make their own, but the only one that we know of is Darth Maul.
I'm struggling with I'm kind of an outside Star Wars fan, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I am not. I've been very famously on this show saying that I'm a Star Trek guy, so Star Wars isn't my biggest thing.
Same. But as far as the bad guys goes, I'm like, I don't know. Darth Vader just kind of,
Wow.
he just doesn't do it for me.
He didn't do it for me until we got to Rogue One.
And like Yoda's kind of always been
When
my
you
dude,
you start reading some Darth Vader comics, you'll be like, oh, I
Yeah.
get it now.
yeah.
I also really like Han
Han
Solo. Not that he's a Jedi, but he's a good guy. So
Darth Vader choked a motherfucker through Zoom.
Nice.
They were sitting on the TV, and he's like, we're not ready. And he's like, oh, yeah? Click. And the guy was sitting there dying. He's like, oh, shit! You're dying from across the ship! God damn!
Nice.
yeah,
Vader's like, I got you next.
he is
Are
powerful.
we going to be good? He's like, hey, man, I got it. Everything's going to be done on time.
And that's technically Luke Skywalker, right?
No, that's Skywalker's
Anakin.
dad.
It's
Anakin
Okay,
Skywalker.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that always gets me.
You know what, though? I got to say, if we did add the Mandalorians and the Boba Fetts of the world, the bounty hunters,
Oh,
I would
I'd
go
for
bounty
sure
hunter.
go bounty hunter. I think.
Because then I could just go with whoever pays me best.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you don't have to worry about all the politics.
2 comments and I'm
You
fine,
just,
baby.
Couple commas.
Couple
that
commas
would
and
be a
okay.
big get a Darth
What
Vader.
do they
Would
call
be a
their
couple
money
commas.
in Star
Let me
Wars?
get
There's a lot of
credits.
different monies, but Republic credits are the main
What
one.
is that? What Mandalorian calls theirs? Credits.
Sure, yeah, credits.
I want to be rich on credits.
There you go. You want to have good credit.
I want to have great credit.
Speaking of Jedis,
And I want those little guys as sidekicks.
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah.
the Ewoks.
The Ewoks.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they're
Think of
kind
this.
of assholes.
Think of the smell, bro.
I don't care.
Yeah, you do.
I roll up on you, have a gang of those jump out.
A gang
like
of those.
8 of them just jump out, pull up. Yeah.
I'm not with it. I'm not with it.
Only if they all look like him.
Wicket. Wicket?
Yeah, only if they all look like Wicket.
God.
He's cute.
I'm still going Team Mando. Team Mando. You want to pull up with the Ewoks? I want to pull up with the squad of Mandalorians.
It's quite fair.
That's what I want to pull up on the scene with. So, Ewan McGregor has come out and said that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jedi Fallen Order have connections. So, Fallen Order is a video game that happens kind of after Order 66, which is where Darth Vader and the Emperor first team up. Hey, Star Wars folks, please correct me if I'm wrong. The Anakin and the Emperor first hook up, and he says, "Okay, let's get rid of all the Jedi. They're the problem." And they order all the clones to go kill the Jedi, which some they get, some they don't.
Oh, so Star Wars is just about genocide. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Genocide and war, hence the name Star Wars. But yeah, Fallen Order has connections with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And when they asked Ewan McGregor, he's like, it'd be irresponsible. This is not a direct quote, but he's kind of like, it'd be irresponsible of us to have things that happen in that game and not happen in the movie. So here's the actual quote. He's praising the director, Deborah Chow, who really knows her stuff. He said that all the storylines have to match up. And you can't have some fact in a video game that doesn't happen and match up in the show or the movies.
But is a video game canon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. So
I know that's one of the big things of Star Wars is a lot of things that are canon, a lot of things that aren't canon.
Right. And that brought me back to the whole discussion of Ahsoka Tano and her show that's coming up. Like she's been in, I think she's
Rosario
been in
Dawson, right?
Right. She was in Mando. Then she's going to be in her own series, and she's one who was from one of the TV shows.
Okay.
So, but like people like Darth Vader show up in this game, Jedi Fallen Order. So a lot of these universes are mixing, and that reminds me of Joe Russo's comment that we talked about a couple shows back, where he said the future of storytelling is going to be through video games.
Yeah, fair.
And now that I see that, for them to make sure that this TV series matches up with what's going on, I think the Inquisitors are in comics and stuff like that, but I think they're in a video game too. Who are the folks that are searching for Obi-Wan in this show? I'm all over the place in Star Wars, guys. I need a better education. I need to go through and watch all the Star Wars and go through those series again, because it's been a long time.
There's a lot of like animated series.
Exactly.
Too.
I was going to say there's animated stuff that's off to the side too, which I'm like, I don't know if that's worth watching. If I should watch it, does it play into?
Yeah,
I understand
like
that
Clone Wars plays into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. And I understand Clone Wars is really good from what I hear from a lot of people. Bad Batch was good as long as you can get over the young Australian girl and the way she pronounces everyone's names.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
Rika, Eco.
Didn't we watch something?
Coral.
It wasn't Clone Wars.
Coral.
It was something else. We watched something else. I don't remember what it is.
Was it Star Wars Visions that we watched?
No, it was forever ago. It was an animated series.
About Star Wars?
Mm-hmm. It was like Clone Wars.
It was Clone Wars.
Was it?
Yeah. That we tried to watch.
Or that's where we met a Shasta or whatever her name is.
Ahsoka?
Yeah.
She's Anakin's Padawan
really
learner.
Yeah.
So what Obi-Wan was to Qui-Gon Jinn and what Anakin was to Obi-Wan, Ahsoka is to Anakin Skywalker. So she also made an appearance in Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, she did.
And
Darth Vader
in Mando Season 3.
Yeah, she's dope AF.
Yeah.
And she's the one that's played by Rosario
Actually, no,
Dawson.
not Mando Season 2. She showed up in Book of Boba Fett.
That's right.
I was going to say Book of Boba Fett, right?
Yeah, there is no Mando Season 3.
She's in... or it's played by Rosario Dawson. That's
Who's
what
amazing. Who is amazing.
Yes,
who looks so good as Ahsoka Tano.
Would you clap her cheeks?
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you had to ask.
I've been obsessed with Rosario Dawson probably since Kids.
Kids?
Wow.
What is that?
That's a throwback movie.
That's
If you've
further
never
back
seen
than
Kids,
Rent.
I'm trying to think of what did I first discover Rosario Dawson in?
Rent is what I saw her in, and she
That
is
was one of the first
absolutely
ones.
spectacular.
And I think
in
the
that.
first thing I really, really saw her in was He Got Game.
When I saw her actually acting, not that the movie Rent is not acting by any means, but I knew that was a Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw her actually
I knew
acting...
that it was a Broadway.
Well, no, I know it's from whatever, however you would say that. Her musical talent is just beyond. But when I first saw her in like acting in movies and TV shows like Daredevil and other movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, she's pretty damn good.
I'm looking up her filmography, and the first thing they talk about is definitely Rent.
Yeah.
But she was in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Ooh.
Nobody mentioned that one.
Wonder Woman voice, huh?
I'm trying to go back. She's been in a lot of video games, actually. She's pretty darn good. I remember her from Clerks 2.
Yep, that was the other one.
She was great in Clerks 2. And you know what's funny? Kids is her first project she was ever in.
Yep.
NC-17. The fuck you been watching, Ryan?
Bro, it's a fucked up movie.
This came out in 1995.
It's a pretty messed up movie.
I'm just going to say I'm worried for you.
You should watch it. It's a good movie. But it's messed
Trying
up.
to see. Men in Black 2.
Yep.
Yes. That's probably the first thing I've seen her in. She was also in The Rundown and Alexander, Sin City. Yep. Lord knows I remembered her from Sin City.
Grindhouse and Death Proof.
Yeah. Rosario is awesome. I don't think I've ever seen anything that I was like, man, she wasn't that good.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that happens with her.
No.
Nope.
But Star Wars, the universe is kicking back up. When are we going to see some more Mando or some more Book of Boba Fett? Probably not for several years. What do you think?
Or well, are we seeing her show first?
Yeah. Well, no. We're seeing Ewan McGregor. We're seeing Obi-Wan this month.
Oh, yeah. When is... But they started production on...
No, yeah, on Ahsoka, yeah. Let's take a look. When does Obi-Wan start?
It's,
Obi-Wan. Oh, wait. Hold on. We're committing sacrilege here.
It's been a minute since you pushed the Google button.
Oh, the Google button.
May 27th.
I almost said... I said 28. For some reason, I thought it was the 28th.
Hold on a second. There's also the Andor series coming out. When does that one start?
Don't know.
It just says 2022. Probably going to be August, is what it's saying. Sorry, Google button. Yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get it going. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our first break of the day. We actually only had those bit of TV news, plenty of Marvel news. DC and video games didn't show up this week. So if I missed something, I'm sorry. Oh, last thing I want to talk about, the Avatar trailer.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they just come out with a second one already?
Well, the second...
Or is that the one that we saw?
No, yeah, that was the one that's attached to the Doctor Strange
if you've
movie.
Seen Doctor Strange, which we have.
Yeah.
You will see the Avatar little preview. I almost said featurette. That's not what is it?
It's called a trailer.
Sure. Trailer, preview, whatever. You'll see it there. Or it's out in the Googs.
Looks really good. Lots of stuff to talk about. But I already said we're going to take a break. So,
We'll be back.
Yeah. If that's all right with you.
Sure. Let's go.
Golly.
He takes forever to do anything.
Wow.
I always have to wait on him.
Anyone who has ever lived with a woman ever knows that's not true.
Facts.
Usually I'm ready to walk out the door and you haven't even considered what shoes you're putting on.
Let's tell the full story, shall we?
No.
We have to stall for time because you guys tell us when you want to go and you start getting ready 6 hours before it's time for us to go. So we play for time and know that when it's time for us to get ready.
We're not talking about the times where it's taking us specifically taking me a long time to get ready that you're not ready when it's time to go. I'm talking when I'm like ready to go to the store and I'm like, we're going to the store. Then you're like, okay. And I said, okay, I'm putting my shoes on.
Sure.
And you say, okay. And then I'm purse on, sunglasses on,
sure,
everything's ready to go.
Got it.
And you've got to poop, you've got to check on the tortoise, you've got to put on your shoes, you've got to change your hat 3 times, you've lost your wallet, can't find your keys.
You know why this is?
This is my life, because we're married.
Because by the time she decides to tell me we're going to the store right now,
I'm ready.
She's been ready.
Yeah.
And
you're doing other things where you've been waiting for her.
That's where all the clues hit Sherlock in the brain. And she's up walking around, and I'm just sitting there playing Halo or doing something, going, the fuck is she doing? And then she goes, let's go to the store. And I'm like, oh, shit, time to get up. And I go check on all my stuff. She's like, let's go.
Wife does the same thing to me.
I know.
He's in there, they're going to take a poop, and I'm like, you're taking forever.
I was like, listen, I was holding on to this, dropping the doochie before you ever came to me and said anything about going to the store. You know how this starts? I'm hungry.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want?
That means let's go.
Where do you want to go?
Here's my favorite. It's a double parter. I'm hungry. What do you feel like cooking? Oh, we're going to the store. Dope. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough out of you.
Enough.
That's okay. All right. Doctor Strange. We're not going heavily into Doctor Strange.
We're not going
Just
into it
a
at
couple
all.
things we're going to talk about because we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented Mark Hoffmeyer from Movies, Films, and Flicks, who's going to join us for the next episode. And he's going to be talking about all kinds of wonderful stuff with us. That's going to be a really heavy Doctor Strange episode. And I'm sure we're going to repeat the couple things that I'm saying here in that episode as well. But, you know, here we are. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. If you haven't seen it yet, like all movies, there is post-credit scenes. Okay? There's 2 of them. Stick around for it. One of them is important. One of them is really not. And I will tell you, the second one is not important at all. Stick around for the first one after the animated credits. If you got somewhere to go, you got to hit the bathroom. You're not going to miss much if you miss the second one. But hey, you know, if you're like me,
you're going to stay and watch it.
You have to stay and watch it, which I did. We all did, actually. Well, the Alter Ego crew got a nice little sneaky peeky last Wednesday.
Days early. Yeah, but we're not going into any spoilers or details in regards to that movie at all until next week.
No.
So you have time to watch it and still listen to the show.
Sure. I don't even want to do a number rating here because I don't want to do that. But had one of the biggest openings of all time. First day, $90 million. Over the weekend, $200 million. So I think they made their money back. It is the 10th largest opening of any movie ever and is the 5th largest for the MCU. Crazy, right?
No.
And some viewers, this is something that I'll just throw to the team here, said that this movie should have been rated R. Do you agree with that? Our good friend Kyla had a comment on
I read
this.
her comment earlier, and I 1,000% agree with her.
Yeah.
That it definitely does not need to be rated R. In my personal opinion, I know there isn't really, I mean, there is like the PG-13. There's nothing really in between PG-13 and R.
Sure.
But maybe there should be like a PGMA, like a parental guidance, like a maturity.
That's PG-13.
I know, but I mean, I feel like I feel like I could see why, more so because there's nothing in it that falls under the radar of rated R. There's not like, it's not like you're getting tits and ass and a bunch of F words.
And I was so disappointed.
I mean, you're not getting that. And everybody knows you're not getting
No T's,
that.
no A's.
But there is some, and you see it in the previews, so this is no spoiler at all. There is some shit in there that is graphically terrifying. So it's like our soon-to-be 13-year-old is probably going to be terrified to watch that movie, and he's 13. So even it being PG-13, there's some stuff in there that will probably scare the freaking pants off of him.
That's probably true. Know your kid. Know what they've seen.
Right. So I would just say, even if there is some sort of warning, it could still be PG-13 or some sort of maturity rating that just says, hey, there's some scary shit in this.
Here's the quote exactly from Kyla, which I think she words it quite perfectly.
Right.
By the way,
bumbling like a moron.
she also wrote it down, so don't worry, you're not live,
true.
She's not live. She's the one who we posted the picture of in her Alter Ego T-shirt,
which you can get on sevenlamb.threadless.com. I think it is.
That's correct. You could find the link if you're interested. Just let us know.
Yeah. Just let us know.
But yeah, so she said it was scary, but I think recommended parental guidance for kids under 13 is reasonable. Mm-hmm. An R rating would imply a 16-year-old couldn't cope with it without their parents, and that's silly. And she's absolutely
1,000%.
Anyway, we're getting off of that. That's next week. Stick around for that. We're going to have our spoilers, our non-spoilers. It's going to be fun. But let's go on to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They've wrapped filming.
Finally.
It's about time.
Which doesn't mean they've wrapped production, because obviously all kinds of post-production. It could be going on for a long time.
Did we post about the James Gunn thing?
I did, yes.
Okay. I was going to say, I saw it, but I follow James Gunn, so I couldn't remember if it was him or you that had posted that.
He originally posted
right,
it.
of course. It's not like you posted the picture and quoted James Gunn on,
I did post it with his quote. So if you want to see the full quote, actually I could pull it up, but it's really not that big a deal. The cast posted and said that James Gunn said he could not post any photos with Zoe Saldana, who's Gamora, who is incredible. And she's an original Guardian, so for her not to be there was a big deal. He goes, I can't show it because she was hanging with an actor who has not been announced for the movie yet.
Yep. So there is a secret person nobody knows about yet, obviously.
And why did why did whoever that actor is take Zoe from us? Why did they take Zoe? We wanted a picture of Zoe.
Maybe they, yeah. I don't know. Maybe he meant like the entire group photo with everybody that included her,
right.
And maybe she left early before they took the other picture. I don't know. Maybe she's in the bathroom.
All I know is James Gunn has done a great job, and The Guardians has been the smash hit, I think, of the Marvel Universe. I mean, everything else has been great.
It's just so different.
We expect a lot from Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. Huge expectations. Guardians of the Galaxy showed up and not many people knew anything about them. So from where they went to where they are now, I think they are truly the gem of the MCU so far.
They're so different too, and I don't know if that's accredited to James Gunn himself, because obviously we've seen his direction of other films and how they're very colorful and loud and kind of out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be
that's his style,
right? It could be that. I mean, because that definitely. Anytime I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, I think of bright colors. I think of awesome action and all that other stuff. Like it's just typical James Gunn style. But I think just because, like, obviously we have Thor, who's basically from outer space, but that's basically it. Like, most of the Avengers stuff is all here on Earth. It's even in New York, where we all know, like, it's different than what we're used to and what we're kind of expecting. So it's, I don't know. I think it just draws us in because it's something completely unrelatable.
And the only guy on that team with legitimate powers is Groot. I mean, right?
There's Star-Lord.
What does he do?
He flies around with a helmet.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's a helmet. Rocket's got the guns.
I love Star-Lord. I'm not going to say a negative thing about him, but in terms
Rocket's
of
also
abilities and
genetically
powers,
engineered animal that can talk. And
I mean, but he's still got the strength of a raccoon.
He's a MacGyver that you can make anything with.
So that's brains.
I dig the whole team.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about powers that nobody else can do.
Physical superhero powers, yeah.
That's
Groot
true.
freaking...
I don't know.
Groot finished Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Tell me which one of the Guardians could have done that.
As a teenager, Groot.
Who's this character they're hiding? Who are they hiding from us?
I don't know.
Blasphemy, I can take it.
What
can't take it.
You can't take it.
When is this coming out again?
Oh, and what's
Isn't it later
the
this year?
empath chick.
Oh, yeah, Mantis.
Oh, Mantis.
Yeah.
But from the
I love
original.
Mantis.
But from the original.
She's a Guardian, though.
Yeah, that's true.
She is now.
Isn't this one coming out later this year?
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear that soundtrack. That's the one thing.
I know. Especially because he has 300 songs on this one now.
What?
Oh,
yeah, that's what he said when he handed him the iPod. He's like, this one's a good one. It holds up to 300 songs.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant...
Oh, it was a Zoom.
I thought you meant like James Gunn came out and said there were 300 songs, and so it's like, holy shit, is there even enough time?
Star-Lord came to Earth, and he's interacted with Iron Man now at this point. I know it was on Titan, and for a very brief time on Earth, nobody came up to him and was like, yeah, bro, here's an iPad. Here's everything you need.
I'm from Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit. What are you hassling us for? Anyway. I don't know. I think it's Silver Surfer. That's my bet. Silver Surfer.
Ooh. I like it.
How about Adam Warlock?
He's already been announced.
Suck it. Yeah, but do we know who he is?
Yes, we do.
Fuck. Nova.
That would be amazing.
Oh my God, it's Zac Efron. Zac Efron and
who came out and said he wanted to be part of the MCU.
We're freaking broing out together at the bar, hanging out after wrapping it up.
Actually, looking at their vibes and like having seen Zach's show on Netflix, I bet they would get along really well together.
Yeah, famously.
Who knows? So anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 hype. Let's get it. How about Thor, Love, and Thunder? There's some hype there too.
I can't wait for that.
The hype train.
July 8th.
Yeah. Taika Waititi says Gore, the God Butcher, is the best villain Marvel's ever had.
Yeah, and
that's a long list at this point.
But that's interesting because he's not that I guess I knew about Thanos before Thanos was Thanos.
Sure.
Because I knew of the Infinity War comic book and was reading up on that and stuff. So I mean he was one that I knew about, even as somebody who wasn't a massive comic book nerd yet. But there's the obvious Spider-Man villains. There's the obvious...
Sure.
There's the obvious... Well, I guess it's not obvious, but like Loki and all them. But I've never heard of this guy.
Gore?
I've never heard of Gore. I haven't even heard of him until they announced him saying that he was the baddest of the bad. And I knew that, who is it, Christian Bale is playing him? So
it's not. So let's just clarify. I think because in the comics,
and his Batman voice,
Gore himself doesn't have powers. His weapon from the void, the Black Blade or whatever it's called, that has powers. That is what's badass. But here's the entire quote. Thor Love and Thunder has a great, really fun, weird little group of heroes, a new team for Thor with Korg, King Valkyrie, and the mighty Thor. And in my humble opinion, we probably have the best villain that Marvel's ever had in Christian Bale.
Okay, so are they saying Christian Bale is playing the best villain they've ever had?
Right.
In terms of his performance? Or are they saying that Gore is the best villain they've ever had on screen for Marvel? Because that's two different things.
I still think either way, Josh Brolin takes it.
Thank you. That was going to be my comment too.
Yeah, for Thanos.
I know. That's and that's kind of why I'm like, I don't really know what to expect, which is what makes me kind of even more excited about seeing this movie, because I have no idea what we're walking into. At least with Thanos, I knew what to expect. Loki, I knew what to expect. I don't have a fucking clue what Gore's about. So
if your name is the God Butcher, it's not God Killer. See, it's not God Messer-upper.
Because I've heard you talk about the God Butcher before, but I've never heard him called Gore. So it's like, I don't know. But I didn't know what he looked like, so I clearly didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
But
so you guys remember that scene in the trailer where Thor is walking by and that gigantic ice dog-looking creature is killed? That's a god that's from comics. If you look at the comic panel next to that shot, it's shot for shot.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
And this thing is massive. It looks bigger than, our moon, and it's killed by Gore.
Wow.
So,
I'm excited.
I thought Hela was pretty good too. And
I was thinking of villains that I would compare to Josh Brolin's Thanos, which I like both versions of Thanos, both the Still the Conqueror and the one who is on a kind of religious quest, removing his armor and telling people, I'm really sorry, but this has to happen.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi's father came to mind. I loved him. I forget his, was the Mandarin.
Yeah.
He's gone by many names, but the Mandarin, I thought he was great because he was driven by love for his wife. And even when his son would fight him and run away and stuff, he's like, they'll be fine once I get my wife back. He comes back, my son's home. I'm so happy my son's home. But, at the end of the day, he's a bad guy. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. And obviously this is Taika Waititi's humble opinion. And, it depends on what you think of Taika and, all the movies that he's directed so far. He also says that, here's something important. Jane Foster's Thor is a mindfuck for Odinson. So,
how not?
Sure. But him calling him Odinson and not
Thor.
Mighty Thor and then Thor.
Well, because they can't both be Thor.
But at some point, Thor relinquishes the title when he's unworthy.
Right.
And becomes Odin's son. He doesn't call himself Thor anymore.
He doesn't call himself Thor.
So I wonder if him giving up his axe and giving up Mjolnir and giving up these ideas is him saying, I'm not Thor anymore. Just, I'm Odin's son.
Yeah. Maybe.
What do you think?
now does he get power of pops now?
But what... So wait,
I don't know what that means.
You're saying he doesn't. So he doesn't have.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
Doesn't that mean he loses the power with the hammer, though?
Yeah. Eventually, he becomes the Allfather.
Yeah, but it's you can't have two Thors at the same time.
Correct, and we
not
see
in the
Mighty
same
Thor and Jane Foster
verse in multiverse or whatever. Not in the same. Universe.
She takes Mjolnir. He's got Stormbreaker. Done. Two Thors.
Okay.
Think of that in Avengers. No, you have the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's worthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have...
but I can still see how it's a mindfuck.
A lot of multiversal things happening. Here's the thing that they said in the
I feel like that's a play on words.
He hasn't seen Jane in 8 years.
That's what I'm saying, is that's where the mindfuck is. It's a mindfuck for us because we're like, what the fuck's going on? And it's also a mindfuck for him because this is the love of his life that he hasn't seen in forever, and now all of a sudden he doesn't know what the fuck's up. So I feel like it's a mindfuck all around. That's why
can we fucking get Enchantress, please?
Please.
I just got mine fucked. I just got sad. I'm never gonna see Captain America wield
Mjolnir again.
No, you take the little one. I still love that. But yeah.
Or even Stormbreaker.
I mean, you can watch that movie over and over again if you want to.
I just love that. I knew it.
Yeah. I do too.
So that makes you go back to Ultron and go, was Captain America just fucking with him a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Was he picking it up like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I love
When
Thor.
it just squeaked.
So I want him to feel like he's the only one that's worthy. So I'm going to be like,
Or
sorry,
maybe he wasn't
can't
worthy
do it.
yet.
I was gonna say maybe he wasn't.
Maybe
worthy
he
at
was
that
on the
time.
way. What did he do in between? Lots of good shit. So maybe
All
there was
I know is
something in
War
particular-
Machine and Tony couldn't budge that bitch.
No.
Yeah.
He goes,
was
are you even pulling? You on my team? That movie's going to be great. All right,
I can't
so
wait. It's so soon.
I kind of almost wish that they would have had whatchamacallit, Hulk do it.
yeah. Yes.
Mark Ruffalo would have been awesome for him to Hulk out and try to pick it up.
Well, at one point,
Just pick up the entire building.
Hulk does try to pick up Mjolnir in the first Avengers. Or it throws it by him and he grabs it and it takes him with him.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he does try to pick it up, then gets slapped in the mouth by the God of Thunder. But
I was gonna say I don't see him, and this is no hard feelings against Hulk at all, but I don't see him ever being worthy.
you got to go watch Hulk versus Thor.
Yeah, he's
Because he does pick it up.
You also got to watch the
Kinda spoil it
original.
for you, but he does pick it up.
does
the
he?
original Avengers. Yeah, several times
I
Hulk
guess
has
I'm
picked
not
up Mjolnir.
surprised.
Not as quick as Vision. Vision picks it up quicker than anybody.
Oh yeah,
But
of course.
I love it. And then I love that part because that's
that's
when they,
not
like,
Hulk versus in that one. Actually, that's the first animated Avenger movie.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we trust him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So in that one, if you haven't seen the animated Avengers, go see it. But Hulk picks it up in that one, and when he throws it, Thor's like, "Don't worry, he can't pick it up. He's not worthy." And Hulk's like, "Gotcha, bitch!" And then Thor's like, "Oh shit!" So anyway, if you haven't seen that one, go watch it. It's a good movie. But anyway, let's get into our subject matter, shall we?
We shall.
Let's talk about a little Moon Knight. So we are going to do our spoiler/non-spoiler versions of this. We'll start with the non-spoilers, a little bit of general talk about Moon Knight. First of all, the director says it'd be a waste not to have a season 2. Mohammed Diab says he feels like he built this character/universe and it's home for he and the co-producer Sarah Goer. Well, let's pump the brakes on you built this. Moon Knight is quite an established character. But I definitely see why he would want season 2.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into.
I was gonna say
I
don't
feel
know
like
if we're
it
there yet.
needs
But
a season 2.
And they actually had 2 planned cutscenes or 2 planned crossovers. And then eventually they're like, things were changing and the script was changing. And we were like, we don't need that.
Yeah, because that whole series, it's that 6 episodes. What the fuck?
The crossover that they were talking about was trying to get Kingo from the Eternals to show up. Which I don't know what Kingo could add to the situation. I like Kingo as a character.
Yeah.
I like the actor. I don't see at all where he fits in.
Man, this movie, you ever seen the movie, what is it, Gods of Egypt?
No,
Oh,
I have not.
that's what this kind of reminded me of a little bit.
The only Egyptian movies that I get a lot of were The Mummy.
Or The Mummy? Yeah. Well, I got that kind of feels from it, but it kind of reminded me of the Gods of Egypt a little bit. And
So-
I'm like, yeah, this is supposed to be a superhero show?
The lead actress, whose name I'm sorry I can't remember right now, I'll get it pulled up. She said this movie was going to be a cross of Fight Club meets Indiana Jones. Now that we've all seen it, do we feel that's a true statement?
No,
No?
not for me.
Which one is it missing more of?
The Indiana Jones.
In what
Little
regard?
really? I would have said Fight
it-
Club.
yeah, maybe.
I think Fight
the
Club.
Fight Club's kind of in there, but the whole. This is why I don't know if we can go into spoilers because, like,
Okay, so we'll hold on that.
yeah.
Lack
we-
of MCU connections that we just mentioned, Kingo, and I forget
Big
the other
time.
one. There are no connections in this one at all.
And that's one of the things I was going to say about this. This is the first Marvel series that I watched that did not feel like a Marvel movie series.
And it says that's what attracted Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke to the project. Okay, sure. I like that it's not connected. I think that's kind of an interesting thing.
Is it eventually going to be? Because
Yes.
otherwise, what is the point?
Yeah, I think it eventually will be because there's a lot of things left unanswered, and B, there's a lot of Moon Knight in Marvel Comics history. So there's a lot of things he could contribute to. A lot of teams he's on too.
And I think
We might
that's
have
one
to
of the
just break
reasons-
the ice on the spoiler thing because I have a statement on that regard.
We will. We'll
that's
get
one of
back
the
to it, but
reasons
let's.
I don't think I like this that much.
Okay, so it is hard to follow. I will say I watched a series called Screen Crush starring Ryan Airy, who goes over spoilers and Easter eggs and things like that. He does a great job of connecting you to the Easter eggs and the characters and the thing that you're looking for that you may have missed. And he kind of helped me along with watching this series, because if I didn't know anything about Moon Knight, I might be a little bit like, what the fuck is going on here?
So, like me.
Yeah, I was. And I mean, I tried to look out for things that like may have
MCU importance.
but I didn't
everything
see much.
everything is Moon Knight importance. It's not overall MCU. There's no real talk of the blip or anything like that. There's no real connection in this. So if you're looking for this to enrich something that you're already knowledgeable about that's not Moon Knight, you might not enjoy it. I'll say this: the acting from the main character is superb.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give Isaac, what's his name, Isaac?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
I think he's the
I'll give
best
him that.
actor that's been in any of the series so far in terms of his performance. I love my MCU guys. Oscar Isaac, I just felt with what the subject matter that he's dealing with and what is being required of him as an actor.
So I don't know if, well, again.
Second place goes to Tom Hiddleston. You're my boy.
Yeah, we're flirting with spoiler territory again. But, yeah, I would have to say that in the beginning, I didn't quite feel that way until I saw episode 5.
Yeah.
Or episode 4. Or
4, and then you were like, wait a minute, what?
And then episode 5, and you're kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. And then episode
Only because
6,
it explains it a little bit more. So if you're confused, and this isn't spoilery, because you will be, if you're confused for the first few episodes, it will all eventually make a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I just finished it today because I was a couple episodes behind. And
I was about to say, you're fresh.
I was kind of like, what? I mean, I even messaged a group and I was like, I just watched the end of episode 4. What the fuck is going on? And then episode 5, and I was like, oh, never mind. Got it.
Yeah.
See, even after episode 6, I'm still confused. I'm still.
See, did I not say?
Okay, so we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get
soon.
into that in a second.
But I looked at an older post that mentioned the cast and who was cast to be in this show. Sharon Carter is one that they named that would be there. Nowhere to be found. No extra scenes, no nothing. No
she
Sharon
was supposed
Carter.
to be a crossover character.
Yeah,
then?
yeah.
Wow.
And there was
Where?
also the werewolf character that they talked about a bunch, and nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found.
Were there any cutscenes with him? Because I have a cutscene to talk about at some point.
No cutscene featuring him, because that was where I felt like that dollar was as good as secured, because I figured he would tie in with Blade.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Pushing the deadlines back, baby. Oh, boy. Okay, so it's a very interesting show. I would probably watch it again just to see what kind of stuff that I missed.
Now that I've seen the last 2 episodes, I feel like I have to watch it again because I will maybe understand some stuff more now that I watched it a second time. So if you're confused, you watch it all the way through, I'm still confused, and you watch it again, that might make more sense. So I'm probably going to watch it again.
I just watched Loki again. Let me tell you, they were setting up the things that are happening now back then. Marvel's way ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. All right, so let's do this. Let's give you the warning that we're going to get into spoiler territory. Overall, I think we're kind of confused. There's no way to say it's good or it's bad. We're just kind of confused. And if you're not a big Moon Knight aficionado, you're probably not confused. Let us know how you felt about it. Let us know what you thought of the show. It's 6 hours of Moon Knight. I hope you liked it. God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that being said, we are going to, at the end of this song, we're going to be into spoiler territory. And by the way, this is the theme song for the Cigar City Sports Podcast that Ryan and I are on. And now we're into spoiler territory.
Shameless plug.
Super fast.
Shameless plug.
Super fast. Okay, so to talk about the connections situation.
Do you mind if I lay the groundwork a little bit? And then you'll jump in?
I just don't want to forget this thought.
Okay, so keep it buried in your head.
It's going to get lost.
So Moon Knight has 3 personalities in his head. Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and in the comics, Jake Lockley.
Who we didn't even know existed until the last 8 seconds of the show.
If you don't know Moon Knight. Correct.
Actually, I knew earlier when he was in there beating. I was like,
I was kind of like, honestly, I was kind of thinking that too, and I was wondering, and I was like, if neither one of them knows what the fuck is up, then something else is fucking up.
And so Mark is the envoy. Is that the word they use? Or not the envoy. What's the word? Avatar for Khonshu, who is the god of the night and all of its travelers. Mm-hmm. So any wrongdoing that is done to travelers of the night, Khonshu sends his Moon Knight to then punish them, which is him going up against Arthur Harrow, who is Ethan Hawke's character, who is, spoiler alert, a former avatar of Khonshu, who is now a avatar or would be avatar, because technically he's not an avatar, of the god Ammit, who is kind of a Minority Report type person. Let's kill them before they ever do anything bad.
Right.
Well, I mean, he would. What, didn't he become the Avatar at the end?
At the end, yeah.
And then my other thing was, why didn't they ever explain what happened between him and Khonshu?
Sure.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same. They left it very hairy.
Just kind of that he got tired of doing his bidding kind of thing is what I got from that. Like, he was sick of Khonshu. He didn't want to do what he wanted, so he eventually broke off and didn't agree with his methods. And as you can see from Arthur Harrow, he's trying to atone for the things that he's done and for the bad person that he is from the very first scene we see with him, where he breaks that glass and throws it in his little flip-flops and is walking around that. And he always talks about how he's got things that he's done that are wrong, and he is just trying to atone.
See, well, that's the thing I don't get. If you're trying to atone, how do you go from
that to trying
messing
to
people
kill
up
people
after they do something wrong versus killing them before they just having the thought?
Sure.
That doesn't make sense to me.
That makes you a bad guy.
Maybe he's trying to build towards a better world or whatever.
It's a very Thanos mindset.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a recurring theme within the MCU, and Khonshu and Ammit are kind of toe the line. So we pick up with Steven. That's where we start. Mm-hmm. Steven is the mild-mannered, practically Egyptologist who knows everything about the, what's the name of the big group of gods? Anyway, doesn't matter. But he knows everything. He's the one who's getting stepped on, still trying to call his mom, doesn't interact with a lot of people. Then you got Mark, who's a mercenary. He's a badass. He's very driven. And then you have this third personality that you don't even meet
until
technically, officially, until the cutscene at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So Steven and Mark have this back and forth all the time. Actually, I think we see a cut to Jake in the very first time when he's in the van.
Yeah, and we see it
when he's driving the cupcake truck and he passes out and he wakes up holding the gun.
I was going to say
that was Jake.
Before that, because even before that, he first meets Harrow.
Yes.
And then he blacks out around all those people, and then he wakes up and there's like 20 people dead around him.
And he's covered in blood.
And I don't think that's Mark or Steven, like you were saying. He doesn't really, that's not really his.
Oh, I think that was Mark.
You think so?
I don't think so, because every time Mark has been there, he's had something to say. He's commented on what's happened, and he has been very justified in his actions. And we actually, if you think about it, you don't see Mark kill anyone.
And this is also, like you were saying, at least according to the comics, is Jake is the only one that is capable of taking over the body whenever he wants to.
And that's
Mark and Steven have to have some sort of agreement. So if he's about to pass out and die, Jake takes him over and takes care of business.
Sure.
So if
that's
if
definitely
that
the way
follows
they portrayed
comics,
it in
if that
IMDb.
follows the comics, and every single time that he blacks out, that there isn't a mutual agreement, basically.
Yeah.
And that's probably Jake's probably the one that is the reason that he's chained to the bed. It has nothing to do with Mark, even though Mark is technically the guy. In the end, we find out he is the actual person. Steven and Jake are the mental people, or the psychological personalities.
You think the chain is to have them get hit and rattle their brain so that somebody, Mark or Steven, can take over?
I think that
that's why he's chained to the bed?
No, I think he's chained to the bed because he realizes
that he's up doing shit.
Doing shit, but what he doesn't realize is that he's the second personality. He's not the first.
Right.
Mark is the first. That's why he does everything that he does.
But he also doesn't, him and Mark probably both don't realize, because I don't even think Mark realizes that he's been chaining his own self to the bed. I think that Jake's the one that's literally waking up, unchaining himself, going out and doing shit that he can, because he's the only one that can take over his own body.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even his own body, but he's bad enough to where he can literally take over the body whenever he wants. He doesn't have to have the reflection thing there in the beginning, or he doesn't have to have the mutual understanding and agreement that they have a little bit later on, that where they start switching the body back and forth a little bit more willy-nilly. He just takes that shit whenever the fuck he wants to.
And then we meet Layla, who is, this is the one part that I'm kind of like, okay, what? Is Mark's wife. Not Steven's, not Jake's, Mark's. How have they gone so long to know each other, do all the things that they did together,
and she doesn't
get married, and she has no idea Steven's a thing?
This gets into the part that I want to talk a little bit more about, was the reason that he has these multiple personalities is because of his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And there is that point in time to where it shows Mark and Steven both there spectrally, basically, when Steven is there for his mother's funeral and he's crying in the street. And then he all of a sudden flips out of being emotional and flips out from being, or switches out from being Mark and switches into Steven. And Mark, spectral Mark, says to Steven, this is when you and I started to get back together again, basically. So I think there was a huge period of time in Mark's life
where he was
from when
Mark.
he was a child to when that moment happened, that there was a huge period of time that he was
he
Mark.
said that's when they started to realize that. He's like, that's when we started to meet each other.
Right.
We started to collide.
Because he obviously, as a child, made Steven in his mind something.
Yeah.
But that was
from the movie.
moment. Right.
From the movie he watched.
But that was right. And so that was how he separated basically his relationship with his mother from being absolutely awful to absolutely amazing. And so he separated them, but I don't know if he actually played the dual personality even when he was a kid. So that didn't actually happen, to where he literally was switching back and forth in his head until his mom actually died, and he went to her funeral, and Mark was bawling in the street because his mom died, and he was pretty much saying, I don't want to give you even the grace of me being here, whatever. And then he starts bawling in the street because he's mixed emotions. And then all of a sudden Steven wakes up and he's like, where am I? Oh, I'm lost again. And then he calls his mom and he's got this accent. That's where the first time he probably actually switches in his actual mind.
That makes sense.
So at that point, he's probably long been married. Layla and him have been together, and then all of a sudden, his mom dies, and that shit happens.
Who is played by
he was Steven when he was a kid, though.
He was, but I think that it wasn't a mental, an actual mental problem until that moment. So I think he consciously was, as a child, was finding an outlet. And I think subconsciously as an adult, something triggered him, his mom dying likely, to actually have a mental breakdown.
So not wanting to face her in death.
So that was kind of what I got from it, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I was confused until that moment. So I think that moment is what explains his actual life as an adult.
Yeah.
Is that he actually had time to be this Egyptian expert and marry somebody. Well,
that's something that Mark created.
Yeah,
Mark wanted him to be that.
Oh, gotcha.
Not to mention because he was already the avatar of Khonshu by that point.
Him and Layla were off doing all sorts of crazy artifactual shit.
Yeah,
when they were together.
I just want to highlight her really quick. May Kalamawi is the young lady who plays
she was badass as an
Layla.
Avatar.
Yeah.
My thing too was how does Steven hold a job? If he's just disappearing, and how does this guy, the gift shop guy,
sure,
come on, bro.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think that's where when Mark says that, this is where we really started to click, is because he was letting Steven run the body, be gone, be lost, be away from Layla. He was allowing that to happen so that she would forget him, other people would forget him, he wouldn't have to worry about being Moon Knight, and let Steven take the brunt of it.
And his mom wouldn't have to be dead, because that Steven continued to call her, continued to talk to her, even to himself. I mean, it's actually funny.
Sure.
If you look at the phone that actual Steven, Mark are using in that scene,
the one that's in the hideaway,
right? He's clearly, well, no, when he's in the street, when that whole moment happens, when he's in the street and he's at his mom's funeral, but he doesn't go inside, and then he turns into Steven, then he starts talking to her, even though she's obviously not there. His phone is clearly not on a screen of like communication. It has like a map on it, and he's like holding it to his face, and it does not have like a communication screen on it. I don't know if that was like a small detail that they put in there on purpose, but you can tell that he's obviously not on the phone.
Yeah, and let me tell you, at the beginning of the show, Steven annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh,
kind of me too. I was like, is this what we're dealing with? This can't be Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's badass and this guy's a dweeb.
Steven
I'm sorry.
annoyed the shit out of me. By episode 5, I was like, if anything happens to Steven, I'm going to freak the fuck out.
Yeah,
I grew to love Steven every episode as it started to move on.
I still want him going. I want that hardcore killer.
Moon Knight. You want Jake. You want the Jake Moon Knight.
I want to see more, and I feel like if there is a season 2 or we see Moon Knight again, that's gonna fully envelop.
I'm interested to see the interactions, not between Mark and Jake, because those two would just beat each other's asses.
Yeah.
But between Jake and Steven.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say Steven and Jake, but yeah.
So do we think, because it's kind of teased at in the comics, and there is actually a comic thread where Jake finds out that Khonshu has been fucking with him his whole life, and Jake finds out that Khonshu may indirectly be responsible for his brother's death. Ooh. And Jake eventually kills Khonshu.
So do we think that's going to happen?
So there's that flashback scene where Steven is following his brother.
Yeah.
And they step on what looks like a hummingbird's body, but the skull looks just like Khonshu.
Oh, yeah, shit. I didn't catch that. I was working at the time, so I was in and out of actually watching it.
I just think there's one thing, though, that
that's a nod to the comics, if nothing else.
If you're a Moon Knight lover, like, this is the show for you.
Yeah.
If you have been constantly reading Moon Knight, this is probably the greatest MCU show you've ever seen.
And just really quick, just since we're talking about flashbacks and we're talking about Oscar Isaac and his performance, and we were just talking about his relationship with his mom, the director came out and said, and his name is Mohamed Diab, he came out and said, in regards to a cut scene that they took out, says the irony is that my favorite scene of his, as an Oscar Isaacs, got cut. He said it was in the 6th episode. As great as everything else was, he topped it with something even better. He said he confronted his mom in a white void, and he was going back and forth between Mark and Steven. And he said, and oh my God, the scene itself was Oscar-winning performance. Hopefully Marvel releases that scene one day, because Oscar was a genius.
Bobo, season 2. Baby.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That's when we'll see it.
So the fact that he kind of came out and said it makes me think that it might not happen, and it actually might get released, or it still could get put into season 2, even if the world has seen it.
It's on Disney Plus now. Throw that bad boy in there.
Right, put it on there. They could put it in there right now.
The little 14-minute joint that they did with what's his face.
So I was incredibly impressed with Oscar Isaac's performance back and forth with himself, and then I remember a story that we were reported here that his brother played his alter egos when he was in scenes. So if he'd be Steven, his brother was playing Mark. So the relationship and the love between each other is probably very genuine for Oscar Isaac.
Oh,
Oscar Isaac's
he's
brother.
A twin?
No.
Oh, I'm confused.
This is his older brother. Like if I had my brother Brian play Steven, my interactions with him, or I'm just interacting
if you're reading the scripts back and forth. Gotcha.
Like that's cool. When they're shooting, they're going to have Ryan play Steven so I can talk to somebody.
Right.
And then when it's time for me to be Steven, he'll play Mark, and I'll play off him again.
That makes total sense.
So it really is impressive, and I kind of need to see that third persona, because they were saying it'll be fine with one season. We can leave it here.
I think it was that was one of those things like
Andrew Garfield.
Or Andrew Garfield, or Tom, not Hiddleston. Help me.
Tom Holland?
Thank you. Or they both have like come out and Tom Holland
Yeah.
I can't count him because he tells shit as it is in truth, and he gives spoilers without even realizing it. But like Andrew Garfield, where he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not a Spider-Man. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's like they're so good about saying shit like that, and then all of a sudden. So I don't know if this is like a Marvel thing, but I would love for it to be a Marvel thing and them just come out with a new season.
Yeah.
Or Moon Knight is a major, they somehow, they have to have, I mean, if they're going to bring him into the MCU for real, they have to have some sort of, there's so much unanswered with him that I feel like there has to be a second season. It can't just be Blade comes out and he's in Blade. Like, we've got to know more about, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, me personally, I felt like this season should have been longer and done a lot more explaining.
Even if we had 2 more episodes, like everything else was like 8 episodes. Like even if we had 2 more episodes, they could have explained a lot more, and then he could have moved right into the MCU.
Yeah,
they could have used that 7th episode to really wrap up some shit. They could have used an 8th episode to really get him where he needs to go to catapult him into the MCU. I don't know. That's why that's why I'm hoping, and I really think there's going to be another season, because I think there's too much that's not covered, and I don't think that just a couple extra episodes would have been enough.
Yeah, it feels
that's
like
my mindset.
Inception or something. Like, I'm still like, is this even in his head? Is this actually happening, or is this still in his head?
There was a lot of confusion.
I asked him a couple times. I was
if it's still in his head, then this isn't much of a Marvel movie, and I'm thrown off. Like, where does this suit
There was
come
a point in time that I literally thought it was all a dream, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And there's the little mind fuck at the end where they show Mark and Steven kind of, we're back to living our lives, and then you see the cut with Jake.
Yep.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, is the apartment in their minds too? Like, is the apartment not real, and then you're only seeing them when they're interacting with other people? It's real, because now they show the fish tank, and magically there's 2 fish in it.
Yeah, and see, one of the other big things is I don't understand how he's supposed to be Moon Knight is if he released that contract.
He released Steven and Mark,
but still, I mean, Jake wasn't even a thought in that process.
But
so.
but that's
Khonshu would know that.
It was because Khonshu says, I don't need them. I got Jake. Yeah. Why would I need them? Jake kills people for me.
Yeah.
So he released Steven and Mark.
Right.
Yeah, but then that's my other thing. I don't need 14 personalities running around on a character. It's just
right. Well, he's got 3. He doesn't have 14. He's got 3.
So but I want to know, like, we obviously know where the second one. We know where Steven came from. Where did Jake come from?
And that
we don't know yet.
And I will say it makes sense if it all stems from the same reason, the same incident. I could totally just, my partially educated psychological mind could understand how he could create someone who loves her tenfold, who just no matter what,
shields him from all his pain.
Shields his emotion from all of his pain. Then there's poor Mark, who's taking all the pain, and then there's this child who's eventually lashing out.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably if we do see a season 2, there's going to be it's either the same time, which I feel like if it was, they would have maybe explained that. And then again, we didn't know that Jake existed yet. So maybe that's why they held it off. And now we're just all supposed to assume that it all happened at the same time. I hope not. Or there's something else that happened in between the childhood shit and the adult shit that Jake came out. Maybe. Whether it's the same reason and something else just occurred, or something that mom did, or just something else that happens that triggers that complete opposite.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think so either, because Dad seemed like he saw him through the window at the funeral and was, it seemed like, I don't know.
They also hint at his military background and him being a mercenary. I think maybe the first time he gets dropped into war, he's scared a little shitless and needs something to go in there and be the equalizer, and that's going to be Jake.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I mean, you can't be like normal minded like Mark and have, and of course I'm not a psychopath with multiple personalities, but you can't have one extreme and not the other. I feel like you have to have some sort of, and that's where part of the balance comes to, is I feel like you can't have an outlet that weakens you without an outlet that strengthens you. I just feel like that I don't know.
All I know is there's also something. Watch this series by Screen Crush too. It does go through a lot, but like there's even significance to the sarcophagus that they're in. Like when you're in the mental institution that's in Mark's mind, Stevens is laying down. It's at rest. It is a like golden sarcophagus. I forget what it is, but it's not like Jake's, which is standing
His
up
is the
erect,
one that was up rattling.
which means you have unfinished business, and Jake is trying to fight his way out of this blood red sarcophagus. So clearly they're doing a lot of foreshadowing into him, and I can't wait to see it. I want to see Moon Jake.
I want to see Moon Jake.
Moon Jake, baby.
I mean, we saw him quite a bit, just didn't realize it until the end of the series.
And we need a little bit of flushing out for Jake before he is introduced as well.
We need to understand him. We need to understand where he came from.
We still don't understand all the other ones.
I know, but I will tell you, I mean, you can ask him. I will tell you that I rode the struggle bus, and I'm sure you can agree.
Oh, yeah.
I rode the struggle bus until I got to the incident with him and his brother. Then and his mom and all that. Then I once I knew how Steven came to be, it made so much more sense for me.
And then you rooted for Steven.
Then you kind of root for Steven. Yeah. So I mean,
I was hoping he was going to disappear after he
once he
dealt with that
incrustated
memory
into the
and dealt with it. I was like, maybe Steven's gone now and it's just Mark.
Yeah.
Just give me the
Just
guy
give
who's a
you Mark.
mercenary.
We didn't even talk about the god.
Tarawet, the big hippo lady.
Yeah.
I loved her,
a lot.
which is who Layla ends up becoming her avatar, which the whole time you think Khonshu's trying to get Layla. You think Khonshu's like, fuck Mark. Something's wrong with him. I'm gonna get Layla.
No, he wasn't.
And even at the end, he's like, I don't want Layla. They thought I wanted Layla. No, I need Jake.
I need Jake.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I loved him in the suit in the limo. I was like, whoa,
Khonshu in the suit.
What is happening?
How about Mr. Knight, which is Steven's version of Moon Knight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clean.
I want to see
Reminds me of like
Jake's
an all-white
version
Deadpool.
of Moon Knight.
Yeah, maybe that's the one that has like the black inlaced into it too.
Oh yeah.
There are a couple really cool Moon Knight costumes that he has.
More vicious. I wanted to learn a little more about the suit too. How it
Yeah,
can be,
why it's
where
such
it comes from,
why it's so good. It's such a healing.
why he has to summon it. Why
Yeah.
isn't it like, you know what I mean? Like, where does all that come from?
And if they do go through with him getting rid of Khonshu, how does he keep the suit? How does he stay Moon Knight?
Yeah.
And honestly, how did he even come across Khonshu in the first place?
Maybe
They showed
he
it.
doesn't.
They showed that.
Where?
They showed that in the temple when he was shot.
Oh yeah, when he was shot. I mean, so he was shot, and then that's what.
Yeah.
But see, then how does that tie into his brother as a kid? Then,
Well, because they say that the gods temper and influence with people, whether they have direct contact or not.
Yeah.
So that could be Khonshu identifying him. And not to mention, when Khonshu shows up, she says, oh, the years haven't been kind to you. She looks like a crocodile. He probably used to look like a bird at some point.
Yeah,
and now he's a
nothing but
skeleton.
skeleton. Although him in that white suit, dude, in that cutscene,
Yeah.
fresh.
Anyway, thank you so much for checking out episode 103 of the Alter Ego Podcast. I've been Jack. This is Ryan.
Yep. I'm still thinking.
He's still pondering.
I can't wait for next week. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Mark Hoffmeyer from Movies, Films, and Flicks. It's going to be a great episode. It was a great movie. Can't wait to get into spoilers with you. Go see it if you haven't already.
And watch Moon Knight all the way through.
Or not.
Twice.
It ain't worth watching twice.
It is. Because you're going to see all the stuff you missed the first time. Just like Loki.
I'm like mind blown to that hummingbird skull thing. Like, that's blowing my mind right now.
I don't know. I think Khonshu's going to get killed by Jake.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Then where does he draw his power from?
Your mom! Ooh!
His mom's dead.
Happy Mom's Day, everybody.
My favorite part of this whole series, though, is the fact that they got a vegan to eat steak. Great.
Who? Just Steven?
Yep.
Yeah.